Welcome to Montessori Education.
Montessori English Medium School. Admissionlu jaruguchunnami. Montessori English Medium School. Burripalam Road, Tenali. Phone 08644 227 115.
Welcome to 15th video, 10th grade English Montessori Public School finale. Today in this video we go to grammar of first unit and at the end of the year reading we find grammar defining and non-defining clauses. Defining and non-defining clauses. What is this defining and non-defining clauses? Before going to that, let us understand what is a clause. To understand what is a clause, let us understand what is a sentence. To understand a sentence, we must know what is a phrase. Of course, all these might have been dealt in different grammar classes, so I'm not going to trouble you with all these grammar and finally you say your grammar allergic. So naturally, it is better I start with a clause. Clauses are two types, main clause and subordinating clause. What is a main clause? What is a subordinating clause? A main clause is it can be called a sentence. Now, in a main clause, we can have a full meaning. For example, I am teaching. Here, subject is there, verb is there. What sort of word? A finite word. What is a finite word? A finite word is something that is affected by tense or a person or number. For example, here I am teaching is in present continuous tense. If I change this tense, this verb will be affected. For example, I have taught. So the verb changes according to the tense. Again, person, for example, I am teaching. If you take third person singular, it becomes he is teaching. See, the verb is changing according to the person. So this type of words or the verbs which change according to the tense or person is called a finite word. And a main clause is a sentence or a main clause where a finite verb is there. Finite verb is there. Now, coming to subordinate clause. Subordinate clause is a clause added to the main clause, and subordinate clause doesn't have an existence of its own. It cannot stand by itself. For example, when I got up. So when I give you this, you understand when I got up. It's not a question. If you want to ask a question, how do you ask? When did you get up? So this is only a clause. Here also we have a word. But the problem is, this is dependent. It needs to have a main clause to have its full meaning. For example, when I got up, I realized I was late. So I realized I was late is a sentence, full sentence itself without even this, without this subordinate clause. But this subordinate clause cannot stand by itself without this. So usually subordinate clause is formed by adding a conjunction, a subordinate conjunction with the main clause. So here subordinate conjunctions we have plenty. All the WH question words, if, so, unless, until, all these are subordinate clauses, subordinate conjunctions. So by using a subordinate conjunction, when you attach a main clause with another main clause, this becomes a subordinate clause. This point is clear? Now, coming to non-defining clauses and defining clauses, we need to understand relative clauses. Clauses are of three types. What are they? Noun clause, adjective clause, adverb clause. But we will deal in other class. For example, relative clauses. Relative clauses is a clause, like in the case of subordinate clause, we have a conjunction, subordinate conjunction. Here we have a relative pronoun. What's a relative pronoun? Relative pronouns are that, who, whom, which, whose, what, etc. So this relative pronoun we use to connect a clause with a main clause. So whenever a relative pronoun is added with a clause, that clause is called a relative clause. And it is, this relative pronoun should relate to the pronoun of the main clause. I'll give you an example. I met a person who was wearing a mask. I met a person who was wearing a mask. Here, this who relates to whom? Relates to a person. And what is this who? Who is a relative pronoun. So this clause which has a relative pronoun is called a relative clause. This point is clear? A clause which has got a relative pronoun in it, and this relative pronoun should relate to the person, object or subject of the main clause. That clause is called a relative clause. Point is clear? Now, these relative clauses are of two types. That is what we are going to deal right now. Relative clauses are of two types. Relative clauses are of two types. One is defining clause and non-defining clause. Defining clause and non-defining clause. Now, what is a defining clause and what is a non-defining? This is very easy. If the clause defines the subject of the object, it is a defining clause. Then what is non-defining clause? Non-defining clause is nothing but if the clause does not define but add extra information. For example, Gandhiji, you know Gandhiji, right? Gandhiji, who was father of the nation, was killed by Godse. So Gandhiji, who was the father of the nation, is the relative clause. For Gandhiji, who was the father of the nation. Now, just see what I kept in bracket. Without this, can you understand Gandhiji? Gandhiji was killed by Godse, right? So without even this clause, you can easily understand who Gandhiji was. Therefore, this clause is doing nothing sort of defining this Gandhiji. Without this clause, you are able to understand the subject clearly, right? Gandhiji was killed by Godse. Now what happens? This is giving more information about Gandhiji. Gandhiji, who was the father of the nation, was killed by Godse. So here, who was the father of the nation is an additional information about Gandhiji. Therefore, without this also you can understand Gandhiji and it is not modifying or defining Gandhiji. Therefore, this clause is non-defining clause. So the speciality of non-defining clause by a comma, or it will be kept in bracket, or it will be between hyphens. Got the point? Gandhiji, comma, who was the father of the nation, comma, was killed by Godse. Or Gandhiji, in bracket, who was the father of the nation, bracket, close, was killed by Godse. Or you can keep a hyphen here and read. Whereas defining clause is very important to understand the subject. For example, I give you one small example. The old woman died. The old woman died. When I give you a sentence like this, what is your first question? You will ask which old woman or who is that old woman? So I need to give you a clause to modify, not to give additional information about this woman. The old woman who was above 90. No. I'm just trying to define this woman, because you will not understand which woman this old woman was. So I tell you the old woman who was begging at the street. Now you understand which old woman. The other day you saw one old woman who was begging there. So the woman who was begging. Now you understand. Oh, that old woman died. Now by giving you this clause, I have defined to you which old woman died. Now if you notice the way I have written here, the old woman, no comma, begging at the street, no comma, no bracket, no hyphen. It means I am defining this old woman. This clause, which is underlined, of course for you to understand, is a defining clause because it defines this old woman. Got the point? One more example for you to understand better. My brother, who is a doctor, is living in Tenali. Same sentence, let me write once again. My brother, comma, doctor, comma, is living in. Now, if you notice this sentence, the first sentence, the clause is not separated with the comma, bracket or hyphen. In the second one, it is separated with a comma here. My brother, doctor again comma, is living in Tenali. Now, what do you understand from this? Of course, you understand here who is a doctor defines my brother. Here, the doctor is the word who is the doctor is not defining this brother. So it is not defining, it is defining. Now you are confused, right? Because just by giving a comma here, I tell you one is defining, other one is not defining. You are confused. Now please understand that it can be of same. But the problem is when you use a defining clause, here it is clearly understood that I have more than one brother. Whereas here I have not used any defining or any sort of additional attributions to my brother. Therefore, it is only an additional information. It means I have only one brother. See the meaning changes? My brother who is a doctor. It means I have a brother who is not a doctor, a farmer maybe. I have a brother who is a businessman. But my brother who is particularly a doctor. Here I am defining among my so many brothers, I am defining that particular brother who is a doctor. Whereas here I have only one brother. He lives in Tenali. I am just telling you the additional information about that brother that he is a doctor. Understood? One more example. Mr. Suresh who is very tall, speaks well. Mr. Suresh, who is very tall, speaks well. If I tell you Mr. Suresh speaks well, if you know Suresh, then this definition is not required. There are more than one or two more Sureshes, then I should say that Suresh, which is Suresh, the one who is very tall, speaks well. So when I don't separate them, it is understood that the subject is more than one person. If I don't separate them, it is understood that there is how many Suresh? More than one Suresh. But if I separate them with the comma, it means there is only one Suresh who is tall. He speaks well. I am just giving you some information that how Suresh looks. That's all. Again, let us go back to Gandhiji. Gandhiji, who kept Bhagavad Gita under his hand. Always. Here, Gandhiji, who kept Bhagavad Gita under his hand, it's not at all modifying Gandhiji. It is only giving that Gandhiji has a habit of giving Bhagavad Gita always under his hand. You might have seen in his statues and all that. So Gandhiji, who kept Bhagavad Gita under his hand, is an additional information about Gandhiji. Without that also you can understand Gandhiji always, Gandhiji is the father of our nation. So Gandhiji is the father of our nation. And I am giving you one particularity about Gandhiji, that he kept Bhagavad Gita under his arms always. So here, this is non-defining because it is not at all defining Gandhiji. It is giving additional information about Gandhiji. I hope you understand defining and non-defining clauses. If not, you can call to my number. I give you further explanation. As a part of this homework, please see page number 12. There are 1, 2, 3 Romans given there, and you can write some defining and non-defining clauses there. In the second one, the meeting which was held in the town hall was a great success. The meeting which was held in the town hall. Which meeting was a great success? The one which was held in the town hall, not on the ground. So here, there is a defining clause. That way, you please understand them, put the proper punctuations and send to my WhatsApp number. Third one again, this is the peaceful place, and try to use a defining or non-defining clause and fill in the blanks. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.